You ever wake up to the sound of diesel engines idling outside your house and just know today's going to be some kind of circus? That was me. 8:03 a.m., Tuesday. Two big trucks, a flatbed full of scaffolding, and some dude in neon vest reading off a clipboard like he's about to conduct a moon landing. Remove non-compliant third-story addition as per HOA enforcement order. Owner notified. That's what he says, straight-faced. I look at him, still half asleep, clutching my mug of coffee, and go, I'm the owner. First I've heard of it. Yeah, that happened. Out on the sidewalk, there she is, Denise Kavanaugh, queen of Pinehurst Bluffs HOA, standing like she's negotiating a hostage crisis. She's rocking that power bob haircut, iron capris, and a blinding yellow vest that probably cost more than my coffee maker. She's pointing, no, stabbing a finger at my house. That entire level has to come off, she's telling the foreman, loud enough for the neighbors' Ring cameras to catch every syllable. Height restriction is clear. We voted. Start staging. Meanwhile, I'm leaning on my porch rail, folder tucked under my arm, letting her see it. Surveyor's reports, my deed, county letter with the big shiny seal, just for effect. Timing's everything, because right then, a sheriff's cruiser rolls up, slow and deliberate. Deputy gets out, scans the scene. One look at Denise, one look at me. He lets out the kind of sigh you only hear from folks who've had enough HOA drama for one lifetime. Okay, he says, who's trying to tear down a floor on a house that's not even under their jurisdiction? I raise my hand. Not me. Denise's smile does this thing. Goes from pageant to curdled milk. Name's Marcus Hale, by the way, and 3 years back I bought the weird old house up on the hill behind Pinehurst Bluffs. The listing called it the original farmhouse. Extra half-acre, built before anybody thought of HOAs, perched just outside the neat, sterile plat lines of the neighborhood below. Exactly how I like it. Room to breathe. Nobody with a laminated rulebook telling me my mailbox isn't beige enough. I work from home, structural engineer, mind my business, keep my yard neat. No circus, no boats, no cars up on blocks. Just me, my house, and after a year, my one indulgence, a third-floor office and a little rooftop deck with a killer view over the valley. I did it all by the book. Permits, stamped drawings, city sign-off, county records. Inspector even called it overbuilt in a good way. But from a neighborhood of perfectly identical beige boxes and ornamental pear trees, that third floor poked up like, well, let's just say, wasn't exactly subtle. Enter Denise. She introduced herself one morning. Didn't even bother knocking. Already mid-lecture. You know your structure exceeds the Pinehurst height cap? I said, I'm not in Pinehurst. She just smiled like I'd announced I believe in Bigfoot. Well, we'll see what the covenants say about that. Spoiler alert, the covenants didn't say squat about my lot. Didn't matter to Denise. Next week, I get a letter, cream-colored envelope, HOA logo embossed like it's Buckingham Palace. Notice of non-compliance. Unsanctioned third-story structure. Violation of two-story maximum visual profile. Disrupts community skyline harmony. Creates privacy concerns, blah, blah, blah. $250 fine. 30 days to bring my house back in line. I wrote back one line, stapled a copy of my deed. Respectfully, you have no jurisdiction over my property. Week later, new letter, less polite. Failure to comply will result in escalating fines, potential legal action, forced remediation. They start attaching running balances like I'm ordering drinks at a bar. Then come the photos, my house snapped from below, notes about privacy violations, emails accusing me of voyeuristic architecture. Somebody actually complained they felt watched in their own yard. Newsflash, I don't even own binoculars. Pretty soon, neighbors I've never met are giving me the stink eye in the bread aisle. One guy actually corners me by the potatoes. Why can't you just follow the rules, man? You're driving down property values. I showed him my plat map on my phone. I don't have your rules. Congratulations, I'm now the villain in the Pinehurst group chat. Denise, meanwhile, is working overtime, daily drive-bys, lecturing anyone who'll listen about my view obstruction. HOA meetings start featuring agenda items that sound suspiciously specific. Letters escalate. Notice, final notice, intent to lien on property they don't even own. That's when I quit ignoring and started documenting. The real turning point? A single sheet of paper I spotted at the county clerk's office. Occupational hazard. I check my title records sometimes, just to be safe. Filed 4 weeks earlier. Annexation and consent agreement. Hale property to Pinehurst Bluffs HOA. Claims I agreed to join, subject to all covenants, including height caps, architectural reviews, the whole 9 yards. Signed, in a shaky imitation of my handwriting, Marcus A. Hale. I do not have a middle initial. The kicker? Witness signature, Denise Kavanaugh. She didn't just annoy me. She forged my signature, filed a fake document, then used it to justify her lien threats and demolition drama. That's not HOA shenanigans. That's straight-up felonies. So I take my folder to a real estate attorney, then to the county recorder, then to the district attorney. The recorder looks at the annexation form, lets out a low whistle. Yeah, this isn't going the way she thinks. My lawyer files a petition to invalidate the annexation, asks for a restraining order to keep the HOA off my property, and submits a criminal complaint for forgery and filing false instruments. Not even a week later, Denise dispatches the demolition crew, thinking her fake paperwork has teeth. Only problem. For her, the county and DA are already looped in, hence the deputy parked out front and the legal folder tucked under my arm. Deputy looks over the HOA's work order, then at the foreman. This isn't a court order, he says. It's just paper with a header. The foreman blinks at Denise. So we shouldn't start? Denise snaps. You absolutely should. We have authority over adjoining parcels. Actually, you don't, I say, handing the deputy my deed, and the TRO my attorney just got signed. He scans them, eyebrows up. Oh, you're the Hale in the forgery case. Denise turns white as the HOA's stationary. The deputy reads from the order, slow and clear. Pinehurst Bluffs HOA. Its board, agents, and representatives are enjoined from entering, encumbering, or altering the property of Marcus A. Hale pending further order of this court. He looks up. Ma'am, if you or your board direct this crew to demolish anything, you be in direct violation of a court order. On top of everything else, Denise is sputtering. Everything? What else? That's when a county investigator sedan pulls up. Perfect timing. She gets out, says, Miss Kavanaugh, we need to speak with you about a document you filed. Appears to be forged. The demolition foreman, reading the room, quietly folds up his clipboard. Yeah, we're not touching a thing. Call us when the lawsuits are over. Crew packs up, out of there. For the first time, Denise looks actually small. Not beaten, but finally starting to realize that the HOA rulebook she's been waving around doesn't mean squat on my property. The folks showing up now have badges, and she doesn't get to vote them in or out. Power shifted. All those email blasts and letters? Now it's subpoenas and penal codes. Different ballgame. Court day rolls around. Felt less like a property dispute and more like a roast in slow motion. My side, me, my attorney, a licensed surveyor with color maps, county recorder. Other side, Denise, HOA lawyer who looked like he was regretting his life choices. 3 board members try to disappear into their seats. Surveyor rolls out a big map, points to my parcel in yellow, walks the judge through the dates. Predates Pinehurst Bluffs by 34 years. Not and never has been part of that subdivision. CCRs specifically list which lots are included. Mr. Hales is not among them. Might as well have said, water's wet, sky's blue, Denise can't own this guy. County recorder takes over. Shows the annexation form, compares my real signature on closing documents to Denise's attempt. The differences are obvious, she says. Also, no evidence, Mr. Hale ever appeared before a notary for this document. Judge asks, who notarized it? Recorder, no one. Your Honor, the notary line is blank. Judge peers over his glasses at Denise. Miss Kavanaugh, on what basis did you file this? Denise launches into some speech about community standards, visual harmony, how the board believes adjoining parcels are bound to their rules if reasonably impacted. The judge just holds up a hand. I'm not asking about your feelings. Who signed this? Silence. Her lawyer's whispering like he's talking a toddler off a ledge. Then the DA's rep lays out the criminal case, filing false instruments, attempting to cloud title, leveraging forged documents for money and demolition. By the end, half the board looked like they were watching their leader juggle dynamite. Judge doesn't even raise his voice, makes it feel even heavier. Declares the annexation void and fraudulent, cements on the record that my property is forever outside HOA reach, and makes the restraining order permanent. Then comes damages. My attorney brings receipts, appraisal reports, legal bills, attempted fines. Judge orders the HOA to pay every penny, plus damages for harassment, plus a written retraction to every single resident, clarifying they never had authority over my place. As for Denise, that came at the end, almost as an afterthought. Given the evidence, this court is referring Ms. Kavanaugh's conduct to the district attorney for further action. She is barred from any enforcement or fiduciary role within Pinehurst Bluffs pending the outcome. Translation: she just got benched from her own private fiefdom and tossed into the justice system. Plea deal landed 3 months later. Denise pled guilty to filing a false instrument. 2 years probation, 200 hours community service, $5,000 fine, and banned from serving on any HOA board in the state for 10 years. When the judge read the sentence, her face went from pale to purple. She gripped the table so hard I thought she'd leave dents. "This is completely disproportionate," she snapped. The judge just stared her down. "Miss Kavanaugh, you committed fraud to demolish a man's legally built home. Consider yourself fortunate." So yeah, sometimes the law really does work. And sometimes the folks who make the loudest rules get caught in their own traps. I gotta ask, where's the line between community and control? When does order cross into overreach? I'm curious, genuinely, would you have fought back or just caved to the HOA pressure? Drop your thoughts below. Tell me your story, where you're watching from, and hey, let's keep each other honest. Because the view from a high ground is always best when you've earned it.